Hello, hello, good morning. It's Kim McGillis coming you live from Regina, Saskatchewan. It's about 11:05 Central Time. Hello to my crafty friends in Ontario. I hope you are doing well and that it's lovely back home. Here we have snow this morning and I'm just gonna log on here on my phone. I'm a little late because we are signing up for On Stage, and the process, well, finding a hotel right now has been a bit more complicated. Some nights are already sold out, so that was what I was doing, and I'm getting a bunch of message from other people, so that is why I'm a bit late. Let me try log in here. I've been a little bit MIA yesterday, and I will respond to all your messages. Thank you so much for all your best wishes about me joining the Artisan Design Team for 2025. The only reason I've been MIA is because yesterday I was reorganizing my craft space back here, and I don't know how you organize your craft space, but for myself, I like to have all my stamp sets in alphabetical order, and I have an island in my craft space here, and on one side it's all the current catalog stamp sets and dies, and on the other side it's my mini catalog. And I also, because my first language is French, I have some French sets, so I have a section for that. So that's what I was doing a bit yesterday because it was kind of chaotic. I'm gonna say, when your dog, my golden retriever, does not want to come into my craft space, I know that I needed to purge these boxes around this island. So that's the funny part, right? So please say hello and where you're from while I try to join here. And I'll be reading your comments. We're going to continue our card series. Hello, Fran from Indiana. Hello, Christine. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Okay, I'm back. I'm excited about today's card today. It's like a little extension. The fold is going to be a little bit different. It's not a fun fold, but it's just going to be slightly different. So you'll get to see that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So the craft space is organized. I've also done some heat emboss just because I did not want you guys to have to hear that big noise. Paul is saying, hello, Kim, I have to keep my stamps in elephant. Yes, Paul, we understand each other, you and I. It's kind of a thing. I need to have that. And also, when some stamp sets retire, what I like to do is then pull them off my shelf, so then I know what's going on for that way. Yeah, so that's that. I also have a section on the one side, maybe one day I'll give you a little tour so you get to see, where it's all the online exclusives. So I do that too. I keep my online exclusives separately. The rest, it's just the basic stuff in the background that there's no issues. So, but at least we understand each other, Paul and I. So we are continuing with our card collection, and I'm also so excited. By the end of the week, it's gonna be pretty good. You're gonna get to see everything pulled together, and I'll have a special offering because it's something that people have been asking me for a little while, so I will do that. So I did book for On Stage. I'm a bit in a panic mode because I can't find a hotel room for the first night. It was sold out where I wanted to stay. And then I booked my flight and I did a little boo-boo, so I'll have to repair that once I hang up. I'm like, I don't know what happened, but anyways, it's pretty interesting. So we are using, once again, the Falling Snow stamp set this morning. And we are going to continue with Sophisticated Sled as well. And I'm going to continue using the greetings from the One of a Kind. I told you that it's a stamping snowflake galore this week, so I'm always including those snowflakes. You could always alternate and do other options if you wish to. And for my Canadian friends, if you place an order of $60 with my hostess code this week, you will be getting these cards, like the pre-cut pieces for yourself to rewatch the videos. I'm also going to be sending you that PDF with the instructions, so you'll get to build those cards, and it's for free. If you are sharing my content, my videos, I will be doing a draw by the end. Actually, it will be Monday for this week's collection, and you might win some freebies. If you're from another country, then what happens with that is I will be giving you a free PDF and card. So, because I can't sell stamp sets in other countries because of policies. So, yeah. Okay, so let's get on with our cards today. And if you shout out, if you do have some snow in the area where you're living like we do, I'm very excited because for November, you know, sometimes there's not a lot of daylight, especially in Ontario where my home is. Here in Regina, it's not been too bad because in Regina, it's been quite sunny actually. And this morning, Riley and I went for our walk. It was very lovely, but what I love about snow, it's a very fine coat right now. It's very mild outside, but I just find it's brighter. So it's a very gray day, but it feels so bright with the snow that we just had. Okay, so I am gonna turn you down and we are going to start our cards today. I'm gonna set a couple of things aside. I'm also gonna show you the first couple of cards in case you've missed it. And if you are casing my cards, please tag me along. I would love to know when you're casing my cards. Just this helps me know if you like it, if it is something that I should redo. So here we have Monday's card. And then
it's deleted.
We have Monday's card. Let's just see. I don't know why my phone is picking up some. Are we back? It's the second day that it does this for me. And I don't know why. Hi, Joan. Could somebody just say if we are still live? I just want to make sure because it keeps popping in and out and I'm not sure why. I'm not doing anything different than I normally do. I don't know if it's the weather or that sort of thing. So this was the first card. Good morning, Lise. Hi, Joan. This was the second card. And now we'll add our third card. So, not a fun fold, but you will get to see. Oh, thank you, Lori. Lori is confirming that we're still live. I think it's a Facebook thing because it's been happening this week. So, did you see that from yesterday's project, I did add a little border here. I went a little bit over the top and then I started adding snowflakes. Little baby snowflakes because I find it super pretty. But if you want to do the version that I did yesterday, you don't need to add that extra step. It's just, I just thought that it would be pretty. Okay, so today's card will still be needing some white. It's going to be, and because it's brighter outside, I feel like it looks brighter in here as well. I have a large window. People have been stopping by because we do live on base where my husband works, and people have been stopping by and looking at my Christmas tree in the window and my create sign. So it's been, Paul said I was frozen for a bit. Lisa's saying that she missed the second card, but she'll need to go for the replay. Today is a bit similar. You'll get to see it a bit different, and I'm gonna just try to show you a different variety if you want to go a little simpler. So today's card is going to be 5.5 by, just going to pull this out, by 8.5. And you are going to score at 4.25, which is like the half. You don't really need to see me score. But what I do want you to do at this point is you're going to pull your card back and you're going to cut an inch off. And this is how I do it. If you want to cut it shorter, you may, but for my sake, I'm just doing it this way. So this makes it that your card is now a card that is 7.5 by 5.5 with that same score at 4.25. So when I'm folding it, it has that little space at the bottom here, you see? So for today's card, what I'm doing now is I'm gonna be grabbing the same designer series paper. I'm still working with the country designer series paper from the annual catalog, but this time I'm gonna take my piece that's 5.5 by 1 inch, and I'm just gonna add it on the inside portion of the card instead. So it's kind of a fun fold, but it's not a real fun fold. It's just a bit of a different version of it. So I'm just gonna add that glue right here. Here we go, my awesome glue. And I'm gonna tell you something. I also took out, because I'm always using the green glue, I did take out the fine tip glue yesterday, pen, to add my snowflakes. Like, you know, I was like, Kim, you gotta stop taking only the green glue. There are other options and maybe even better options. So, somebody's laughing about that, like green glue, like nobody loves the green glue. And now my bone folder, it is findable because my island was pretty full of content of different things. So I'm creating that crisp look. So when your recipient is receiving your card, they get this beautiful designer series paper, and then when they open it, this is the interior, and then you could stamp some images in there. I might grab some spare little snowflakes that I've kept in my container here, and I could add it on the inside and stamp an extra greeting. Normally I like to go in odd numbers, you know, I could add a couple more right here, and it just makes my theme a little cuter, right? So that would be fun to just add these here for the content of the inside. But we're not gonna focus on the inside quite yet. Okay, so then I took out the Round We Go dies. The Round We Go dies is exactly what I've added to my card, but I've used this portion here because we don't have a border anymore. So that's my option. Hi, Martina. Martina's watching us from Austria, and she did earn lots of great incentive. I think you were number 2 in the country. Is that it? I'm just trying to figure. I can't remember. So I did do a little of medical surgery. What I did is I cut 2 of the borders and not just the one. And then there's an extra little flap here. So with that extra flap, you're able to add the second piece here. So what I'll do is I'll just I'll show you just so it's a little easier, but I'm gonna use mine for sakes today. So we're gonna grab this piece, I'm gonna add it here, add this first piece right here. I'm actually gonna trade my plates. I try to keep a very nice cleaner plate for my top, so then I could use it a little longer. Okay, so cut this in here. So we got one. I'm gonna set this aside. So this is what it looks like. Do you own the Round We Go dies? Like, that's something, it's like a must. It's part of the collection because you could do so many things, not just rosettes, but you could also make those nice borders. So that if it's not something you own, I suggest that you get it as like really the basic part. Like, especially if you're new to crafting, you want to try to get those nice products that you could reuse multiple times. Then take out this part, and I just want you to go here and remove that other side. If you wanted to, you could use this portion, but I like more this side, so that's what I would do. So now I would go with my second piece, and then I would try to go about 1/2 inch. Like if you bring it here to 1/2 inch, you'll have a nicer, straighter border because it will show on the other side, that's for sure. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this aside and now let's do the surgery. So what I meant is there's this crease right here because the border is not long enough and our card is 5.5 inch. You need to add this piece to the other one. That's all. It will hardly show. Green glue is black. Here we go. Gonna add this little piece. Just a slight bead of glue. And then I'm gonna mount this. I know it's white on white, so I'm very sorry for that. Here we go. And I'm just adding that second piece right here. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull back my card and what I wanna do is add it right here. Could you go with the colors that we're working with? Yeah, of course, you could use fresh freesia, you could use gray granite, but I really wanted to keep that sophisticated look. So this is what it will look like. So now I'm gonna pull my snips. I'm just gonna cut the excess piece right here and remove that. So does that make sense? Do you understand what I mean? And really it's not gonna show. I could add a snowflake, I could add anything that I want. And then I'm just gonna go on the inside right here. Green glue is getting shorter. And then I'm just gonna place it exactly where I want. So if I'm coming here, right this way. And because I'm using green glue, I'm giving it a couple of seconds right here, just in place to dry and set. So that's the first part, and now it lifts perfectly. So I do love this fold. It is gorgeous. For my background, I don't know if you get to see it, but I did add the falling snow, and it's just Versamark and that wow opaque bright white, just because I didn't want you to have to hear that extra noisy. So that's embossed because I still wanted to keep the theme of our snowflakes. So this one opens this way, and this one opens sideways like this and has that border like this. So a little bit different, and I do love those fun folds. Now I'm gonna take my sophisticated sled again, and I am using gray granite because it's one of my great collections of colors that I do love. I'm boring sometimes. I love neutrals. Flashy does look great, but it's very, I like neutrals. That's basically it. So we're gonna pull this back, and now just gonna add this portion here. If you don't want to add it, it's up to you. You don't have to, but I'm just cutting all those pieces. Thank you, Sonia, for sharing. I am gonna put your name in a contest to win. I do believe you're from Canada, so you might earn some free product. So we have this piece right here. If you don't want to add it up, you don't need to. It's up to you. The second portion is this piece, and it's our sled. And once again, I am gonna go and use that designer series paper that I did yesterday. And I love it because when you look at it, it's the country lace and country woods that I was using. When you look at it, it has like that vintage look. And then there's a second little piece. Just gonna pop that off right in here because it stayed in there. And this is the other part. It's the top part of the sled. So if you don't have that, then you could just add it on top. So we're gonna use this here. Now, the sophisticated sled also has another piece that I want you to take out. We're gonna use it in white once again, basic white. but it's this part, it's the wreath. And this is the step that if you want to do simple, you could do simple. If you want to do complicated, I love complicated sometimes, like that's me. But if you want, you could just stamp the image like this. So, and I would stamp it in gray granite. That's the color that I would use. So this is the, sorry, I have it upside down. So this is the stamp set in French. It's called Luge Décoré. And this is the stamp set in English. It's called Sophisticated Sled. So if I'm going with a basic white cardstock, I'm just gonna pull that image. Give me a second. Here. So let's start with simple. We'll do simple first just because simple might be a little easier for you. So we're gonna go with this piece. I'm just gonna take out my block, and then we're going to take the gray granite, and then we're just going to stamp here. Now aligning it can be kind of fun once you try to play with it to align that die. It's like a trivia or that sort of thing. You just got to figure where it goes, and I should just mark it maybe with one of my crayons or something. So let's see, is it this one? Absolutely not. Let's see. This is where somebody needs to start singing a song because it is kind of, I think I got it. Is this it? No. Let's see. Okay, I really have it now. So I'm just gonna pull it back and then we're gonna die cut it. My goodness. And then I'm just gonna pull this piece here. And then we could add some colors with our blends. It's like I lost it again, seriously. I think my husband was trying to give me a call while we were on, so I wonder if that's the reason why I was losing you. Is there a trick here? Could somebody say? Let's see. I still don't have it. I gotta check. What am I doing here? We're gonna look at our little berries. We're gonna set it aside, and then I'm gonna get this. There is a way. There is a way. There is a way. Like I've done this card numerous times. This cutting, but this morning, it's just not coming to me. Here we go. This is what it will have to be. It's not really important because we're going to be using it. Okay. And then I want you to cut a second piece. The second piece is just going to be white on its own. Because if you're doing my version, and I am going to show you what I mean by that, you'll want that white extra piece. Cutting backwards here. So here's white. Let's pretend that this one was the right way. Like, I don't even know why this is happening today. But you would want to color it with your blends. And the coordinating blends that we're using is going to be Fresh Freesia. So we're going to add some colors here. And then because this week I was playing and designing with Berry Burst, our second color will be Berry Burst. So I'm just gonna add some colors here. And I'm going pretty fast. but you'll get to see it on my blog. And if you don't know what my blog is, it's just kimmcgillis.com, so pretty simple. And then you could go over with the lighter blend, that sort of thing. I can't believe I don't have the proper alignment. And then let's grab our berry burst. We're gonna do our little berries here. Oh, I love the color combination of both. It's cute. You could also do the Azure Afternoon berries, up to you. And then this would be like the simple version of mounting on our card, which I will show you later. Something like this, okay? The more complicated version includes that technique that we did on Monday. So do you remember for that technique on Monday, we had colored all our paper? So what I did, and I'm gonna show you, is I mounted a bunch of little pieces to this basic white piece. So let me show you what I mean. So I use this portion right here, and I've added a bunch of the leftover pieces from the technique that we did with this paper on Monday. So if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You could just use plain pieces. But for myself, I just decided that that would be what I would want to use. So you have to cut like at least 2 big pieces. I'm going to show you which ones. So 2 big pieces, and then you'll need piles of little pieces, meaning you'll be able to cut them in half. So if you want to cut them in half, you may do so. Go here, grab this piece here, I'm gonna pop it off. So you'll need 2 like this, and then what you do need is some that are like divided. You just cut them, probably like 2 more, I would say. So some will have the 2 parts and some will be full. So let's do that. And this is the complicated version. You don't want to do the complicated version. You could go with the simplicity of the first one. And I'm just going to show you how I'm assembling it. This is like kind of a wow card, right? I don't know if you like wow cards or if you like simple cards. There's a way of showing and doing both. And that's what I'll be posting. I'll be posting the simple version for beginner stamper-ish, and then the more complicated version for the avid stampers, which I think I'm more of an avid stamper. What are you? Are you basic stamping or avid stamping? Alana's saying the shape in the middle of the wreath is a little more distinctive. Maybe it will align. I don't know. Like, you know what? I've never had that issue before. Normally, I just align it pretty quickly. I guess it's because I'm on live and that's what happens. I'm jinxing myself, that sort of thing. That could be me. But yeah, for sure, I will retweak that. And it does make sense to do the alignment of the middle. So now let's pull this portion right here. And we have all our pieces, and look how beautiful. I think I just almost want to add them here. Like, they're so pretty just on their own. Like, and this is the Monday technique, so you just have to rewatch that video. Then green glue is coming back. Love my green glue. And then I'm just gonna go here, and I have a jar full of green glue, so if ever I'm using all the green glue that I have, and I'm just gonna align it here. And I'm only adding the green glue in the center. And the reason why I'm just doing the center is because I do want it to be fluffy. I want it to stand out. And then this part is just gonna align right here. And because our paper that we designed earlier this week with this watercoloring technique, I just love that all the colors are very different. So Jan is saying that she's pretty much an avid stamper. I am too. Like, I do try to do simple, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. It just doesn't come to me. Simple is beautiful though. So beautiful. Okay, so now we're just building our wreath as we go right here. This one, we're just gonna go that way. And the reason I'm doing this card this way is because we're using all our leftover pieces. I don't wanna spoil. Now I have the second wreath and it's gonna be awesome for something that's coming up later this week. So here we go. So this one could be a little slightly tucked in a little bit more. And that's what I love with the green glue. Once it dries up, you can't you can't move things around, but if it's not dried up, you can. So look at this pretty wreath. Like, I just simply love it. And then look at my little botched up wreath. So this is simple version. This is more complicated version. So let me know which one you prefer if this was aligned properly, the simple version or the complicated version. And then we're gonna pull out some of the cute snowflakes. So these right here, and now I'm switching to my fine glue, and I'm just gonna add some snowflakes on top. Of course, this again is that extra step that you don't need to do if you want to remain simple, but I just want to make it extra pretty. And you know, I normally like to add my projects to frames. I have some beautiful frames that I keep in my craft room, and then I'll have a traditional collection and then I'll have a simple collection. So now let's take that baby one and I'm just gonna add it here and so on. So you get the picture with that. I am gonna show you the final one on this side right here, and you see them all glued and different and separately. Janelle is saying she loves the complicated. Well, then you're my girl because I love complicated too. So, okay, so now I'm just gonna take this back out. We are gonna mount it right here. And we're gonna build this part right here. It's gonna go pretty much like in the center. Then I'm gonna take my dimensionals, and of course, because I've reorganized my craft room, everything is in place. Went up to pick up a box this morning. It's funny because we live on base and of the RCMP depot where all police officers get to train for 6 months when they come. And now they're starting to know Stampin' Up because there's been so many Stampin' Up boxes coming my way. So I walk when I'm coming, like my bail box is like 2 minutes from the house. So I walk down and then they're like, oh, you're picking up another Stampin' Up order, are you? So it's like they've never heard of Stampin' Up before and now they know about Stampin' Up totally. So it's either a good thing or not a good thing. Lise is saying she likes complicated as well. Oh, Paul says complicated. But you know what though? I will do a simple part just to show the difference, and then people could choose whichever one they want. So now here we have our sled, and then I'm gonna grab my wreath and it's gonna come together right on top. So now I want this little guy to go in a little bit more. The wreath is gonna be popping up right here. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So, so pretty. Tammy's saying love complicated too, and specifically fussy cutting. Oh yeah, fussy cutting for sure. That's a dream of mine. I love fussy cutting. I look at my wreath on the other side and it's perfect. You see, I should have grabbed the other one. Okay, and lots of dimensionals because it is such a delicate card and a piece of art that you almost want to have it sturdy as much as you can. So I'm just gonna place this, and you could go wherever, which side that goes. It's like a wreath. Sometimes we have branches that are a bit lower, higher, but here we have it. And then I'm just gonna show you something, and I know you might not have it, but because it was clearance rack is where we have things that are on sale and not available anymore. I did grab these because they are so wonderful for the holiday period. And this is what I am adding to my card. So it's just gonna go right on top here, simply because I wanna add it and I wanna make it as silvery, bluish as possible. Gonna grab some mini glue dots as well. And if you're making a bunch of bows, just keep adding all your bows on top of your ribbon. That's what I like to do. Okay, that's awesome. Paul is saying fussy cutting is the bane of my existence. I love it. Oh, you know what? When I go to events and you could, Tammy, if Tammy's still watching, she could attest to that. When I go to events for paper crafting hosted by Stampin Up, and we make hostess cards, I pre-cut everything, but because I find flying is so long, especially now if ever I'm flying, I'm not sure if I'm gonna fly out of Ontario or if I'm gonna fly out of here, but it's a little longer, that I like to mount all my swaps on the plane. And then there's dimensionals everywhere, and I try to keep myself a little bag on the side and that sort of thing. And then anyways, that's what it is. So I also use this twine. It's the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. I love that. This also is an essential part of your collection. And this is how I tied my skates. So she's asking me, how am I, Alana has a good question. She's asking me, how do I tie my double loop bows with a single tail? So you know what? We're just gonna pause this and I'm just gonna show her. So what I do is I grab this piece and I always fake it. Like in a sense, I fake my bow. So this is what I do just to know about how long I need. And now I'm just gonna show her quickly that double loop. So what I do is I grab that piece, I loop once, I go on the opposite side, I go once again, and I go a 4th time. So it's just loop, 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 like an 8, like, like that way. Then I'm just wrapping it around and tucking it in just like you would do a shoelace. It's as simple as that, and then you pull. The important part is pull super tight on that cord, and then you have your double loop. Very simple. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this aside. Okay, so now for my skates, I think I'm just gonna loop them around here, and then we're just gonna glue them. So here again, complicated again, and I'm probably losing the beginners at this point because they're like, oh my gosh, her card is so complicated. And then they're hanging here, but I will, if I didn't, oh, it's already there. I already added my dimensionals, and this is just gonna place them exactly where I want them to go. So just gonna loop around here, and I like to place them where one is just touching the other like this. Okay, I don't know if this is good online, but on the video, but it is really pretty here. It's actually better than the other card from yesterday. It looks stunning. Paul says, dimension backings have a mind of their own. No matter what you try, they still follow you. And actually, funny thing, I posted on my Instagram that there was one that followed us to the dog park. It was in the car. Last night, I go up the stairs. This house here is very vintage. I call it the vintage home, but I guess it's not the proper word. Our dog is afraid of going up the stairs. So poor Riley, while my husband is home in Ontario, she can't come upstairs because he lifts her. He's like the human elevator, and he brings her up by himself, like upstairs. So anyway, so she's been staying down, but I get upstairs and there's 4 dimensionals in the hallway. I'm like, seriously? Backings, 4 dimensionals backings. I was like, where does this come from? Like, where are these backing come from? So I keep it's probably because I've been doing lives every day. I'm not too sure, but that's what it is. So I used the one of the kind that I've embossed with white, and I did continue with that fresh freesia. And I like long greetings on cards, so this is what I've done for this one. So you could add it wherever you wish. If you want to add it here, if you want to tuck it a little bit there, up to you. But like this one, I'm just going to turn it around slightly so I could see, but I might want to add it. I don't know. Let me see. That's when you go with your eye and you play a little bit with it, but I feel like I know what I'm gonna do. I am gonna just snip this in. It's not gonna be a little something, it's gonna be just for you. So I'm gonna make it shorter. See, there's always a solution. I just didn't wanna add, I found it was too long. And then I just think that this is even a softer look. So there you have it. Now, how pretty is that? Like, just simple. So you get the 2 versions. You get the one where it opens like this. And then we'll decorate the inside if you wish. And then you get this version that opens sideways. And they blend perfectly together as we have it. If you don't want to make the complicated version, then I'll post this version here. Of course, I'll place the dies properly. I don't know, today I need a second coffee most likely. I'm so happy with the outcome of these 2 cards. They're so pretty. I need to take out a frame, put them on there. And then we have a 3rd card here that's a bit slightly different. And then you'll see by the end of the week, we should have a beautiful collection. I have one more card to share with you. And then Friday is gonna be surprise day. Well, thank you for watching me. And I did try to do a little surgery on my phone mount yesterday, and then I used, I don't know what it was called. It was like a sticky glue, and my 2 fingers were stuck together. I panicked. It was crazy, but anyways, they're back separated, so that's good. And really, the phone mount did not work out. So I hope you like my cards today. Thank you for your patience. I don't know. I need to figure something out for you. I might add a tip on my website today. So thank you for watching. Please share my video if you've liked it. And we will see each other tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye-bye.